Huddersfield Town get rid of Moore and then go on and score four? What the heck is going on? To discuss all of that, we have got our resident Huddersfield Town fan, Mark. Good evening, Mark. Welcome back to the Huddersfield View. How are you?
Good evening. Very well, thank you. Nice to wake up on Sunday morning and not see, and actually watch some kind of TV and watch the goals going. So, yeah.
Good. And our guest on the Huddersfield View this week is a notable Twitter supporter and a massive Huddersfield Town fan, Conor. Good evening, Conor. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you getting on? No, good. Let's talk all things the Sheffield Wednesday game. Let's also review the transfer window dealings now that the window is slammed shut. Obviously, we're going to talk about the manager rumours that we're hearing throughout this week and beyond. And we're going to bring in Joe, our Southampton fan, to finish with. And we're going to have a preview of this weekend's trip to St Mary's. But let's start then. Let's start at that game at the weekend. You were both there. Mark, let's start with you. Was it a case of it was an even game until that first goal went in?
Yeah. In fact, Wednesday had a goal line clearance, so we were close to taking lead. It was nervy first half. I don't think it was the first goal what killed it, but it was definitely the second goal. So it was like 2 goals in a minute and a half. And as soon as that went in, it died. Sheffield Wednesday fans all started going home and the atmosphere in it. So yeah, it was like that. The only thing I could hear all afternoon was Barry Bannon on the floor moaning like a girl. Referee every 2 seconds. It was an embarrassment to Sheffield Wednesday, but
that's what he does.
Thanks and then we just went there.
Conor, who stood out for you in terms of player performances that perhaps as was clearly happy Darren Moore's gone from their new energetic life on the pitch?
Oh, so many players played so well. Like Brodie Spencer had an unbelievable game. Josh had a great game. I thought Sorba stood out a lot, but I don't think he was getting as much praise. Ben Wiles, when he came onto the pitch, he was just by far the best player. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Mark, I think we've mentioned on this channel before that how many games did Moore play either or both Sorba and Kuroma up front, but couldn't get a tune out of them. And then I think he said in his pre-match conference, it's a case of just let the shackles off and give them a bit more freedom, and then look at what happens. I mean, Kuroma scores 2, doesn't he? Do you think there was an element of just letting the players play in their natural positions and play them wide?
I probably think so, because when you got one up top, you've got the other one doing something. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure whether Sorba was meant to be a striker or Kuroma meant to be a striker. Sorba can pick up this spot and that spot. I think ultimately, when our 2 strikers went off at the weekend, it just stuck Josh Kuroma up front. And that played really, really well, because Wiles came on, passing were good, Brodie Spencer were good, and that works really well. But because he's letting the players attack and say push up further in the field, Town's second goal comes from probably a bit of a foul in midfield. And then there's a beautiful ball through to Kuroma. I mean, he goes on and scores. But it's because Kuroma's pushing on to the last defender. Whereas actually, under Moore, we'd have probably gone and drawn the game.
Yeah.
Because Roma had sat back and not been on the last defender. So I think we've both been playing. We've both been playing slightly different roles to where we are. And Josh Kuroma, fair play to him. He had 2 chances, scored 2 goals. That fourth one were a right Mickey Mouse goal. But he's there to do it. And like you said, Worthington is torn them both. So going to your normal positions, and it's worked treat for Town. And I'm not sure I liked the fans singing "Are you watching Darren Moore" and stuff, but ultimately it all came down to tactics, didn't it?
Yeah. And you give credit to Kevin Nagle a bit, Conor, because this was his guy, wasn't he? He has had to fall on his sword a little bit here and sack him and say, look, we got it wrong and we start again. Where's the fans' relationship with the owner following what's gone on in the last month or so?
I think it's more so the fans are upset with Mark Cartwright, and I don't think they'll put as much blame on Kevin. I think Kevin just is getting used to English football now. I say it will end up well eventually.
Okay. Right. All right. Then the two of you, I'd like you to review then the signings that you've made. Let's deal with the people that have the players that have left on loan. First of all, Mark, we're going through the whole of January here. So Josh Austerfield's gone on loan to Crewe, and Kyle Hudlin has gone to Burton. Any thoughts on those two?
Not surprising. Kyle Hudlin, he can finish the ball, but he's not a championship player. I think he'll do well at Burton. Austerfield, he's gone to probably his level, and I think he'll progress a bit more. Actually, yesterday, Scott High went to Dundalk in Ireland, in Irish League. I did say we probably needed depth, and then we brought 4 players in, and we've had injuries, and then you let players go, and it's kind of that thing. The injuries have come after the transfer window shut, and then the players have left. And it's like, what do you do? I just think it was over time moment. It's crazy.
And Conor, what did you make of Edmonds Green heading to Charlton?
I think it was expected because FFP and the whole EFL rules and stuff. We had to get rid of one player at least. And with Reg, he was just, I couldn't see him having a future with us. So,
okay. And then grading then A to F and the old school grades, Mark. How do you rate the 4 players then as a group that you've signed? We've got Radulovic from Helsinki, Balka from FC Groningen, obviously Healy from Watford, who should be a class signing, and Alex Metosson from Chelsea on loan. So as a group, let's give you some firepower, give you some steel in midfield.
Matt is fantastic. Yeah, he's a bit of a general. I think it's almost like if Hoggy's not playing, he'll play and it'll give us what we need. The 2 strikers, the Radulovic striker is been fantastic. He's done okay so far. Healy, unfortunately, he's picked up a groin injury. That looks a groin injury a couple of weeks at least. And Balka, he's come on, and his partnership over the weekend were fantastic release. And I think he's sticking at the side with Helic, who will be fantastic. So I think this is why I'm a bit more optimistic for the weekend. Okay.
Let's bring in Joe, our Southampton fan, and get the views on the game this weekend. Just before we do that, Conor, who do you want as next manager?
Oh, there's so many names being thrown around at the moment. I don't think Michael Duff is a bad option. I just think he had a very bad spell at Swansea, but everyone does.
It's a good job our Swansea fans aren't here right now, because they would be laughing. What are the names have you heard then that you're keen on? Obviously, it's not going to be Warnock anymore.
Yeah, Warnock off to Aberdeen. I've heard Paul Heckingbottom. I've heard Steve Cooper thrown around. There's loads of different names getting thrown around, but I think Michael Duff is definitely probably the name that's going to be. It's definitely the highest odds anyways.
Okay. Mark, would you take him?
I think so. I think I'm at a point now where so many managers have done either great or rubbish at whichever clubs. It's just about trying to find who's going to fit this long-term Nagel strategy. Darren Moore was never going to fit that strategy. So it's about finding who wants to do that for a couple of years. And I don't know. I still think we should have taken Michael Carrick at the time when we had a chance because of what he did. But probably Heckingbottom, because just purely you've seen what he's done. But then again, I could have got Sheffield United promoted that season as well. So it's really awkward. All I can do as a fan and as an Nagel fan is say, whoever comes in, I'll back them, I'll do my best, but I'm happy to sit there and say it's not going right at the same time. But, I'm a season card holder, I love Town. I'll support whoever comes in.
Yeah, all right. I'm sure by the time we meet next week to review the next game, we'll be talking about your new manager. For now, we're going to talk about Southampton. And I don't want to ruin the party because you're on a high, guys, but Southampton had 700 passes in their game against Rotherham with 74% possession. I'm guessing that Huddersfield aren't going to see too much of the ball this weekend. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. I think you're gonna see little to none of the ball. I think, unfortunately.
Conor, how do you rate Southampton this season? Obviously, you were there when it was the 1-1 draw early in November. What did you make of them then, and what do you make of them now?
Oh, at the start of the season, I had them to win the league. I think the start has no bother. I think the start has been just a bit rough, but I can just see them get all max now, 100%.
Yeah, and Joe, what have you made of Huddersfield? What did you make of that Huddersfield game when you came up earlier in November?
I thought they looked pretty decent. Like we started fast. We had a lot of the ball, and it was just second half they came out and just blew us out of the water. Like we were really nowhere in that second half, and it's a classic case of you could see it from a mile away, and lo and behold, they scored. So I would like to think the reverse fixture we've got enough to wear them down and win this time, but the Championship's a difficult league. Anything can happen on its day, so you never know.
All right, let's get some quick score predictions. And for you, Mark, you can go first. Saints against the Terriers.
Yeah, just on possession, we had 100% possession and 7,000 passes, and we still drew 1-1. So I'm going for a draw this weekend. I think the team we're going to have out at weekend, and the pressure's on Southampton. At some point, that bubble bursts.
I know.
Yeah, and it's going
to happen sometime.
So yeah, I'm going for a draw.
All right, nice one, Conor.
Yeah, I'd probably say draw as well. I would edge it towards Southampton. If they do win it, it'll probably be by a goal, but I just know it's going to be a 1-1. I just see it happening.
Okay. And Joe?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 as well. Maybe we can nick it and get a 2-1, but yeah, I think it's got a draw written all over it, this one.
All right. 1-1, everyone. Put your money on it now. You've heard it 3 ways. I thought I'd go 4 ways. I was going to say 1-1 anyway. Right. Listen, delighted Huddersfield won for you both, but also delighted for the neutral because tonight we're also going to be talking to the teams, 5 other clubs there that are now looking over their shoulders even more nervously than they were when you walked out of that ground, and QPR won as well. So we talked to Blackburn, to Millwall, to Stoke, to Birmingham, to Swansea, who are now all looking over their shoulders nervously. So thank you for making the relegation fight a lot more interesting than it was.
Yeah, I must admit, I didn't realise how close Stoke were to the bottom. So you've just dragged the team in. So from our point of view, that's good, is that?
Yeah, well, you've got 5 teams that aren't scoring there. Blackburn aren't scoring, Millwall aren't scoring, Stoke certainly aren't scoring, Birmingham will probably be all right, and Swansea can't score either. So this is now, an 8 horse race to go down. So thanks for making it entertaining anyway. All right.
Yeah, all good.
Cheers, fellas. Okay, catch you next week.